Canada is a friendly, cultured environment. It's an environment that welcomes multiculturalism, people from different part of the world. But there's a cause for you to understand the culture as well, especially the work ethics, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
The work ethics from where each and every one of us comes from is totally different from the work ethics in Canada.
Right.
And it's nothing wrong. It might be this, it might both sides are correct.
Right.
But again, it's different cultural background, a different land, different environment, different society.
Right.
So there's always a need for you to understand the work environment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stressing about the work environment because that's one of the reasons why the newcomers come to Canada. We came here to work, right? So there's a need for us to understand the work culture, the work ethics, right? I'm gonna give a quick example. Back home, where we come from, there's always this topmost respect for your boss. Not to say that you shouldn't respect your boss in Canada, but topmost respect for your boss. For the lack of better word, your boss is your smaller god back home, right? But in Canada, it's totally different because your boss is your colleague. You know, you go for coffee together. You do a lot of sort of things together. A lot of newcomers, when they come here, they do the same attitude. What they did back home, they want to do the same thing over here, making their boss their god. Whereas that is far, far different from Canadian culture. So where LandingMate comes in is that we can educate you on how the work culture is here in Canada, give you some tips, give you some good tips to make the work to make you have the good work ethics, give you some tips to make you friendly with your colleagues, give you some tips to make your life easy as a worker in Canada. So we can always do that to make things straight for you. So again, you can always get when you start on your first day of work, for example, they might be expecting you to have some ethics,
Right.
some work ethics, which you don't know. And when you show a different work ethics that is different from what they know as Canadian norms, they might be a shock. Like the saying, first impression lasts longer.
Right.
You're giving them a first impression. Obviously, you didn't know that what you're doing is wrong, is different. I mean, it might not be wrong. It might be what is right back home. But in Canada, it's totally different. So because it's totally different in Canada, they see it as something different. And if they don't understand you at your first day at work, imagine what is going to happen. So you want to give a best impression on your first day. How do you do that? You go through education, meeting people, guidance from people that have been here for so long. So this is one of the services we offer. We can guide you on the way to go to get a better job, not get a better job alone, but to have a better rapport with your colleagues and bosses at work. This is one of the services we offer.
Well, thank you very much for clarifying that. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's one of the questions that we, brushed for in the past, and well, it's good to hear your opinion too, because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other time it was with Mr. Oluyemi, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
also good to have your own point of view. So,